engaged in the Fair Economy campaign because we felt that it was important that there be a counterbalance on the left, specifically for working families, about alternative revenue streams for public entities and also to protect the public services that our members deliver and also consume. There's been a drumbeat over a protracted period of time of the need to cut taxes and cut services, which has a disproportionately negative impact on the poor and working families. So we felt it was our obligation to combat that with policy-based solutions to say you don't just have to cut, you don't just have to reduce services, there are other things that you can do, and that the people who make the most money should pay their fair share of taxes.
Billion-dollar budget deficits have prompted this legislature to make draconian and sometimes cruel cuts in essential services from our state budget. Leadership has talked about how tough the choices are that have to be made. But really, for them, the only choice to be made is whether to shortchange our children's education or sacrifice public safety by laying off thousands of teachers, firefighters, and police, ask our elderly and our children to wait for care, whether it's community care for the elderly or child care for children, slow our judicial system to a crawl, or make a college education less affordable for young people, to name a few.
They grasped the rope tightly, teachers on one side, nurses on the other.
Healthcare against education.
The tug-of-war publicity stunt is symbolic of how education and healthcare workers say they're being treated by state budget riders.
We're not going to make this a fight between public education and public health care dollars to save our children's education or to save their health care.
Senate Minority Leader Nan Rich says the cut doesn't make fiscal sense.
You're dealing with $1.4 billion of federal revenue that we would not draw down for use in health care.
Rich says neither teachers nor nurses need to keep tugging on the rope for more money. She has a plan to raise state revenues by ending corporate tax loopholes.
We're not talking about tax increases. We're talking about making everybody pay their fair share of taxes that are already on the books.
Floridians are already suffering from the cuts made in recent years, and we can't take much more. Passage of the Fair Economy Act would ensure an increase in state revenue by $500 million annually. These uncollected taxes could be put towards vital services that Floridians really need, like public safety, education, and health care. Uncollected taxes could pay for. Hire 8,610 more teachers, lower the average classroom size, ensure that more than 600,000 uninsured children in Florida would be eligible for kid care, eliminate the waiting list for families who have children with disabilities. Open your heart for Floridians and put these vital revenue generating ideas and bills on the fast track to becoming law. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Palm Beach County Public Schools is obviously one of the most important school districts in the country, and so numerous candidates applied for the position to become next superintendent. We were actively engaged in this process by interviewing some of the key candidates that were coming through, as well as vetting all of the candidates. We realized that the best candidate was actually already working at the job, and that was Wayne Gent. When this realization hit us, we began working very closely with our community partners, with some of the other unions, as well as with the school district and the school board members, making them aware that we felt that Wayne Gent was the best person for this position. The school board agreed with us, and voted in the end unanimously to make him the superintendent. We felt this was a tremendous victory for Florida Public Service Union. It was also a great victory for our community. The advisory committee had made a recommendation that we should be looking at getting an RFP to privatize the maintenance workers, the custodial staff, and to begin to look at the school bus transportation workers as well in terms of privatizing. We vehemently opposed privatizing. We felt it would be extremely bad, not only for our workers, but bad for the schools and bad for the community. We were very successful in this campaign. We were able to raise the awareness of the school board members and the community about this, and the school board voted unanimously not to bring privatization to our schools. Palm Beach County schools are facing a $33 million deficit, and they asked us, as their partner, to come up with solutions, to come up with ideas and suggestions that could be implemented in the school district, to essentially think outside of the box, because they recognize that FPSU was creative and a vital partner.
There was a rally yesterday in the city of Riviera Beach where 500 people marched, and that was primarily about stopping the violence. But initially, it was only going to be about stopping the violence, but over time, that changed to that people in the community, from talking from our members, wanted to talk about the need to protect public services that directly leads to the safety of their communities.
Have you heard of the People's Budget Review yet? No? Actually, he's got the flyers right here.
Okay. Well, hello there.
The People's Budget Review is a coalition of probably the key political players in the city of St. Pete. So it's a combination of the Council of Neighborhood Associations, which covers nearly every neighborhood in St. Pete, a coalition group called Agenda 2010, which was formed in 2010 and is a coalition of the major African American organizations, mostly on the south side, but citywide. League of Women Voters, Independent Business Association, Sierra Club. So it's really kind of, along with SEIU, it's probably the most potent political coalition that I've seen in the city.
This is the launch of the People's Budget Review Project. It really is historic. If you look on average, every year less than 1,000 people in the city of St. Petersburg speak out and consult with and attend the town hall meetings with the city council to speak about their concerns for our city budget. This project has a goal of involving 10,000 people.
It's often looked upon as too complicated for mere citizens to have input and to understand the budgetary process. I'm here today to say it's not that complicated. We don't need algorithms, we don't need algebraic problems to decide what's fair and equitable to everyone.
So we want to get people to think more creatively about the budget process, and there's a portion in the survey that allows you to prioritize the needs, and it also allows you to spend $1 of the city's money. It says something like 58 cents of every dollar goes to public safety, to fire stations, and to EMS. How would you spend it?
The city council, the mayor, a lot of our elected officials, I don't just want to use the word ask, but they almost beg for citizen input because they do want to know what people are saying. They do want to know what's important to the people.
There was a quote I heard somewhere, and I can't remember who to attribute it to, but it was, potholes are the gateway drug to civic engagement. And I think 4 years of austere budget cuts are certainly a gateway to civic engagement. I think that you don't have to be a rocket scientist or an economist or an accountant to understand budgeting. The principles themselves are very simple, and our survey is designed to make it pretty easy for someone to fill out the survey within about 5 minutes.
There is no age limit, no restriction on who can take the survey, and we actually want high schoolers and younger members of the community to be involved in this process because the Parks and Rec Department directly affects them. What our community centers have and what's available directly affects them. Pools closing in the community directly affects them.
Let's be an example for the whole country, because if we do this here in this city, it'll work in other cities. That's right. Yeah. So spread the word, get your family, friends, and co-workers together, fill out this survey here. It only takes about 5 minutes of your time, and if we do this, nothing can stop us. It's simple as that. And thank you. All right.
Our members want to project a more efficient system for the way they do work. Our members want to project a vision of the future of public services and one that is more inclusive and not exclusive.